Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more rifle testing, and today we've got a combo that I haven't brought out here in a little while, and we haven't tested any of this ammunition through it yet either. I don't know that I've ever put this grain weight of bullet through this rifle particularly, so I'm definitely curious to see how it actually does, since I know this rifle can shoot pretty well overall for what it is. But first up, we'll start with the rifle, and I brought out this guy. This is an early 80s Marlin Model 336, chambered in 30-30. I believe it is from 82 or 83, somewhere right in there. It's right before they went to the crossbolt safety design, since this one does not have it. It's got a 20-inch barrel on it and an old Bushnell Sport View 3-9x32 on top with the see-through rings as well. I know a lot of people don't like this kind of combo. It's not a special or fancy scope, and those see-through rings, would I put them on a precision long-range rig? No, but this is a 100-yard deer rifle, and it serves the purpose for that just fine. This is how it was when I got it. It's probably been this way for 30 years or more now, I would imagine, and it works just fine the way it is. I don't plan on changing it anytime soon, and I know a lot of you guys have old setups like this as well that you're not afraid to hunt with either. So we'll see how this combo does with today's ammunition. As for the ammo, we're going to be running some of the classic Remington Core-Lokt stuff, but these ones are the 170 grain 30-30 loads. I don't think I've tried 170 through that particular rifle yet. I've tried 150s and the Hornady 160s as well. Usually I know that rifle isn't too picky, but it really likes 150 grain Super X's. So we'll see what the 170 grain Remingtons can actually do. And for those curious, 2200 is the box claim on the back here. Not overly fast, but still perfectly fine for your average 30-30. But as for today's test, we're going to run it the same as we usually do. I'm going to have my target set up at 100 yards. We're going to shoot 3 groups, all of them through the chronograph, and I will let the rifle cool down between each group for 5 or 6 minutes. It's 43 degrees or something out here this morning, so heat shouldn't really be too much of an issue for us, and that should give us a pretty decent idea on what this rifle can do with the 170 grainers. I've got decent hopes for it overall, so let's get you guys a view of that target. We'll shoot some groups and see what we can get. Okay, so we'll take a quick look through the chrono numbers before we look at our target. Boss claim is 2200. We have a 20-inch barrel. Chances are they probably ran it through a 22 or 24 to get that number, I would imagine, because we did not quite see that claim, but that's not too overly surprising either for a 170 grainer out of our little shorter barrel. But our high was 2134. Our low was 2063. That gave us an average of 2103, so that's 97 under their claim, about 100 feet per second. Is probably 2 inches of barrel length or so, with an extreme spread of 71 and a standard deviation at 23. So at an average of 2103, here is your muzzle energy for 170 grain 30-30 load. That's going to be just fine for any deer hunting situation that you're going to be in. So looking fine there, although it is a little bit below their claim. But again, that's nothing too unexpected considering the setup we have. But how accurate were they? Let's go check it out and see. Okay, so here we have our target, and we see some pretty interesting results out of it. We started off really nice, but then we trailed off a little bit with our groups. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I did let the rifle cool down between each of these groups. It was probably 5 or 6 minutes between group 1 and group 2, and after seeing the change there, I probably let the rifle cool down for almost 15 minutes before we went to our last group, and we still had it a little more open than what I would ideally like to see anyway. So was the first group luck of the draw, or or was that just completely cold bore and that's the legitimate performance we're able to get? I don't know, but I felt good about all of my trigger pulls today, and that rifle's not hard to shoot accurately, so I think this is probably what we got. We'll start with our first group here, these three, and that's a nice spread right there for a lever gun all day long. Nothing to complain about there. After seeing that, I was really looking forward to the rest of the groups, and it gave us a 0.71 inch group, so a little bit under 3/4 MOA. I'll take that all day long for a lever gun with a plain old Remington soft point, that's for sure. Cannot argue with that kind of performance. But moving up to the top left with our second group, clearly we opened our last two up quite a bit from that first group. In a perfect world, that first group is probably our realistic accuracy, again, from colder bore. But that second group is 2.07 for a spread. Still minute of deer all day long. There's a lot of lever guns out there that shoot just like that, and they've taken thousands upon thousands of them. So good enough, but obviously that rifle can do better for sure. And it's pretty much the same story moving over here to our third and final group. That might actually be our worst group of the day. Opened it up a touch farther, and indeed it is at 3.09. So it seems like this rifle might be a little bit particular about any sort of heat in the barrel. It never got hot. I could never see any sort of heat wave or anything like that coming off the barrel. You could hold your hand on it all day long, and it felt a few degrees warmer than just room temperature. So maybe it is a little bit particular about heat. It's always a possibility, but if we can shoot that first group right there in a hunting situation, I'll take that any day of the week. You can't complain about that for what that setup is. And that just goes to show that even an old lever gun with what is essentially a 30-year-old Walmart scope and a set of see-through rings can absolutely still do the job just fine, that's for sure. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about those results? After seeing that first group, I had a little bit higher hopes for the other two, but I think we've already covered it enough. Probably just a little picky about any kind of heat in the barrel. In a realistic hunting scenario, if you had to take more than one shot, it probably wouldn't turn out to be 4, 5, 6, 7 shots, whatever the case would be. 1, 2, maybe 3 if you get that unlucky, I guess. But if we can get 0.7 inch groups out of a cold bore on that old rifle, then I'd say it does pretty well with the classic Core-Lokt 170 grainers. I wouldn't hesitate to hunt with that combo all day long. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these 170 grain Core-Lokt 30-30 loads? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is that a combo you would hunt with if you're getting that kind of grouping with it? Or would you still prefer to see it hold a little tighter group as you took more shots? And maybe what other ammo might you want to see me run through that Marlin? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, you have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.